Check out the wider view. The showers are ending south of Nashville and pushing north, so hopefully we'll get some breaks out there a little bit later on this evening.
Our fingers are crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Come back and join us at 6.
We'll see you then.
On World News tonight, missing proof, the secret intelligence that found no reliable information on illegal Iraqi arms. Out of work, unemployment hits a 9-year high. 9 million people are out of a job. Pharmaceutical profiteers, the many ways drug companies cash in on federal dollars. It's your money. Mission to Mars, a closer look at the most promising search for life on Earth's closest neighbor. And the favored long shot, Funnyside's run for history. He's already won the popularity contest.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Elizabeth Vargas.
Good evening. There was an extraordinary development today in the ongoing debate about the intelligence the government used to make the case for war against Iraq. It involves a report that expressed doubts about Iraq's weapons of mass destruction program long before the war. In a top-secret hearing on Capitol Hill today, and senators questioned high-ranking intelligence officials about it. ABC's Martha Raddatz is at the Pentagon. And Martha, this report has sparked something of a furor.
It has, Elizabeth. The furor is over a single yet stunning sentence in a Defense Department intelligence report from September 2002. The sentence in the 80-page report says there is no reliable information on whether Iraq is producing and stockpiling chemical weapons or whether Iraq has or will establish its chemical warfare agent production facilities. Today, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency played down the statement, saying he had no doubt Iraq had weapons programs, but intelligence couldn't point to specific sites.
In September 2002, we could not specifically pin down individual facilities operating as part of the weapons of mass destruction programs.
But the very same month, his own intelligence department was saying there was no reliable information about chemical weapons. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld talked with certainty about it.
We know they have weapons of mass destruction. We know they have active programs. There isn't any debate about it.
One former intelligence analyst said today that no reliable evidence means what it says. If anyone is trying to pretend it is taken out of context, it is laughable. This was a key strategic document prepared for Central Command. Elizabeth, it was the last such document before the war began.
All right, Martha Raddatz, thanks for that live report. In the overseas briefing, one other note on Iraq. A team of UN nuclear inspectors arrived there today to investigate the looting of Iraq's main nuclear facility south of Baghdad. They are there only to assess what is missing. The U.S., which has refused to allow weapons inspectors to resume their work in the country, has severely restricted this mission. Also in the Middle East today, the militant group Hamas said it was withdrawing from scheduled talks with the Palestinian Authority on ending attacks against Israelis. Thousands of Palestinians rallied in support of the group in the Gaza Strip today. Hamas said the Palestinian Prime Minister Mahmoud Abbas has made too many concessions to Israel during the recent summit. In Texas today, investigators looking into the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster were trying to find out if a single piece of foam really could have brought the spacecraft down. It was a violent experiment engineers hoped would provide some answers. ABC's Mike Von Fremd now on what they learned.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Today's test reconfirms that the most likely cause of the Columbia disaster was insulation striking the shuttle's left wing.
This is the first evidence that we have that a piece of foam that approximates what was observed in the accident can in fact crack and damage a piece of flight reinforced carbon panel.
The foam shattered on impact, leaving dark streaks, hairline cracks, and what appear to be bits of foam in the panel.
You would not take a piece that is this damaged into space.
This is the first time NASA has tested the impact of foam on an actual section of the shuttle's reinforced carbon wing. This section was taken off the shuttle Discovery. 81 seconds into Columbia's launch, a piece of foam traveling 531 miles per hour broke off from an external fuel tank and struck the shuttle's left wing. Today, a nitrogen-powered cannon was programmed to fire a 1.5-pound, 19-inch piece of insulation at the wing to simulate the moment of impact. This is similar to a test conducted last week on a fiberglass wing that showed dramatic damage. After today's test, investigators say they still need more information.
The obvious question one asks is, what does this mean in terms of the thermal and structural characteristics? And at this point, it's simply too early to draw a conclusion.
They are planning 5 more tests in the next 2 weeks. And for the foreseeable future, the shuttle fleet remains grounded. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News, San Antonio.
Now to the economy. The government says unemployment is at its highest level in 9 years. Last month, 17,000 people lost their jobs, bringing the unemployment rate to 6.1%. That means 9 million Americans are now out of work. ABC's Betsy Stark is here to explain. Betsy, how is it with so many other economic barometers looking better that the jobless picture is getting worse?
Well, it does seem odd, and it doesn't happen very often. What it reflects is just how fragile this recovery is and how cautiously employers are proceeding through it. They don't want to hire people until they're sure this recovery is the real deal, Elizabeth.
But economists still see some positive signs?
They do. They saw 2 silver linings today. One is the size of the jobs losses is shrinking, and the second is the number of temporary workers being hired is up, which tells you the need is there for workers. Employers are just reluctant to make them permanent hires right now.
All right, Betsy Stark, thanks for that report. U.S. employers have cut more than 3 million private sector jobs in just under 2 years. In most cases, it's the only way for the businesses to stay profitable in a down economy. Here's ABC's Aaron Hayes.
Bill Connor has spent the past year restructuring his Dallas internet company, trying to get it financially healthier by cutting staff. He just announced more cuts. He hopes will be the last cuts, but he's not sure.
The economy may be turning around, but the 2 favorite words as a CEO is I'm cautiously optimistic. In the meantime, I'm going to restructure and get my costs closer to break even so we can get profitable sooner.
Many industries have been doing the same, trying to improve their bottom lines by chopping back their payroll. Manufacturing in particular. The Motorola company, which cut hundreds of employees nationwide, finally shut down this Illinois plant entirely in April, sent jobs to cheaper workers overseas.
What they're focused on is production and profitability. And sad to say, in many cases, the job losses in manufacturing have been one element of restoring the profitability of manufacturing companies.
Tom McKenzie lost his Motorola job. Talk of an economic recovery is lost on him.
We're basically barely paying our bills.
And that is the concern for many workers, worried that even if their company is financially healthy, that's no guarantee their job is safe. Employees in this uncertain economy are often viewed not as assets, but as expenses to be cut as needed. Aaron Hayes, ABC News, Atlanta.
In our national briefing tonight, the first official report on the WorldCom scandal is expected to be released next week. It reportedly finds former CEO Bernard Ebbers played a major role in the $10 billion cover-up and bankruptcy. According to the Wall Street Journal, no decision has been made as to whether to file any charges against Mr. Ebbers. Major League Baseball handed down an 8-game suspension to Chicago slugger Sammy Sosa today. It's his punishment for using a cork-filled bat during a game. Sosa immediately appealed, which means he will be able to play in the long-awaited series against the New York Yankees beginning today. With the onset of summer and the boating season, new attention is now focused on what is often called the silent killer. It is carbon monoxide poisoning, and this week a class action lawsuit was filed in California against 11 boat manufacturers. Boaters want them to do more to warn people about the dangers of getting poisoned, both inside and outside the boat. ABC's Lisa Stark has this report.
This looks like fun, but it is proving deadly. It's called teak surfing, hanging onto a powerboat swim platform, often made of teak, being towed through the water. That's how 15-year-old Stacy Beckett died. She did not realize she was putting her face right in a stream of carbon monoxide gas from the boat's engine. She lost consciousness, slipped into the water, and drowned.
I know that if we knew that somebody could die doing that. You know, my daughters would still be here now.
Gasoline-powered engines and generators emit odorless, colorless carbon monoxide, which can cause headaches, nausea, unconsciousness, even death. People have been poisoned swimming near houseboats, playing near cabin cruisers, even sitting on the swim platforms of ski boats with engines running. A new government report says since 1990, carbon monoxide has caused at least 93 deaths and 377 poisonings on or around boats. Attorneys for the Beckett family demonstrated with the use of an additive how the carbon monoxide fumes build up around the boat.
The concentrations that are occurring at the back end of these boats are so high that sometimes it just takes a few breaths to render someone unconscious.
Manufacturers say boaters bear some responsibility.
Clearly, people that are on the swim platforms while the engines are running, clearly that's a misuse of the product.
Manufacturers are starting to increase warnings about the outdoor risk of carbon monoxide. But as the boating season begins, more deaths are likely. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back, the government developed a drug at your expense. Now you have to buy it back. It's your money. Searching for signs of life 67 million miles away. We'll take a closer look at the latest and most ambitious mission to Mars. And the little guys who are taking on the establishment. They bought part of a horse and perhaps a piece of history.
We might be the Hicks from the Sticks, but we're not stupid.
Out here, the sun doesn't just set, it simmers. The trees are taller than buildings, and dreams are just a short step from reality. This is California, the Golden State. And the memories are here just waiting for you to find them. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo Country, and with values like this, they're easy to explore. Alamo, the official rental car of the American vacation.
In the old days, athlete's foot meant using Lotrimin AF or Tenactin for 4 whole weeks.
Who does that? Today, Lamisil AT kills the fungus with just 1 week's use.
And keeps you athlete's foot free for 3 months.
Lamisil AT.
There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
You see a grueling commute. We saw a reason to invest in tax-free bonds for mass transit, saving time for commuters and helping our shareholders keep more of what they earn. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
The new Impala SS. With one nasty supercharged engine. Nothing can get to it, nothing can touch me. When you need the power,
What?
or not, we'll be there. Chevy.
What's this?
Breakfast.
It's kind of early, buddy.
You guys need to take some cholesterol off of you. Honey, have you been reading the Cheerios box again?
I got that off the box.
Cheerios is still the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to reduce cholesterol to help your heart.
That was very thoughtful of you. Very early, but very thoughtful.
Cheerios, good for the heart.
There's a new report out that shows the close relationship between pharmaceutical research and federal funding. It can be very good for drug companies. The company that developed a popular cancer drug called Taxol benefited from $484 million the government spent for research and trials. ABC's Jackie Judd looks at what happened when the profits started coming in. It's your money.
Taxol, derived from the bark of Pacific yew trees, came on the market in 1993, a promising new drug to fight ovarian and breast cancer. Since then, Bristol Myers Squibb has sold $9 billion worth of Taxol worldwide. The catch is Bristol did not discover the drug. The government did with taxpayer dollars, and then negotiated a license with the pharmaceutical giant.
The federal government repeatedly dropped the ball, and in fact didn't even realize it had the ball when it came to protecting the public's interest in Taxol.
The National Institutes of Health has received just $35 million in royalties from Bristol off that $9 billion in sales. So taxpayers footed part of the original bill, and now those who use Taxol are paying a second time. Medicare alone paid nearly $700 million over a 5-year period to buy a drug the government helped develop. Senator Ron Wyden sought the GAO investigation.
I think this system is dysfunctional.
NIH argues that without Bristol supporting large clinical trials, Taxol never would have reached cancer patients.
We needed each other. They contributed a lot of funds, a lot of their effort. We did too.
Defenders also say when NIH negotiates a royalty with a drug company, it never knows which drug will fail, which will succeed. It is a risk for each side.
Taxol has been a success in treating cancer patients beyond anyone's expectations. In terms of your money, it's not been much of a success at all. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
A nonprofit allergy research organization has come out with a list of the country's allergy capitals. Louisville, Kentucky, Austin, Texas, St. Louis, Missouri, Atlanta, Georgia, and Charlotte, North Carolina are the top 5 cities that give allergy sufferers the most discomfort, according to the study. Still ahead, a closer look at a new generation of Mars missions searching for signs of life. And horse racing's Cinderella story. Funny Side's bid for history.
World News Tonight with Peter Jennings and a closer look. Brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Ooh, look, it's the guy who falls. Fall now.
Oh, I don't really do that anymore. It's not like I got that insurance.
What insurance?
Aflac. They pay you cash if you can't work when you get hurt. Not that I ever do. Aisle 5 under lingerie.
Price check.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Aflac.
Why does the pursuit of science always end up on your floor? This is why Swiffer Wet was invented. Even dried-on stains get dissolved away with Swiffer Wet, because each cloth is loaded with Swiffer's own powerful cleaning solution. Science marches on, and Swiffer Wet is there to mop it up. Stop cleaning. Start Swiffering.
We're in a Florida firehouse for the Tilex Mildew Challenge. These tough, sweaty firemen have been showering day in and day out to see if they can build up a case of mildew too tough for Tilex Mildew Remover. Well, sound the alarm. Just spray Tilex, and without scrubbing, that tough, ugly mildew is blasted, dead, gone. That mildew didn't stand a chance. Tilex Mildew Remover. Proof. Nothing's tougher than Tilex.
That's me. And this is Kate. She's just like me. First bike ride, first prom. Then my little girl grew up. Around then, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Still, things were looking up. Until I turned 50. I felt 90.
For some, there's Remicade. Remicade relieves the pain of RA and helps stop further damage to your joints. Your doctor may add Remicade if you're on methotrexate already and not responding well. Remicade is not for everyone. Certain people with heart failure should not take Remicade. Serious, sometimes fatal infections such as TB have been reported. Your doctor should evaluate your risk of infection. Tell your doctor right away if you develop any sign of an infection while on Remicade. There is a risk of serious infusion reactions which may include hives, difficulty breathing, and low blood pressure. Call today and talk to your rheumatologist.
Last year, Kate was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And she's so young. At least she won't suffer like I did.
Next week on World News Tonight, this plant can help you lose weight. Will it be the next breakthrough diet drug? And the alarming amount of dangerous pollution being spewed into the air you breathe. Plus, should you consent before a medical student practices on you? Next week.
We're going to take a closer look at the latest search for life on Mars. Since 1964, NASA has launched 15 missions to learn more about the planet closest to the Earth, but we still don't know if there could be life on Mars. This weekend's launch, weather permitting, is designed to bring us closer to the answer. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
If the launch of the Mars exploration rovers goes as smoothly as NASA's computer animation,
2, 1. And liftoff of the Delta rocket.
If it works, Steve Squires will be a very happy man.
This is going to be, when we pull it off, humanity's first great voyage of exploration of this century.
We got too many test targets.
Squires is the lead scientist for the two rovers, and for him, it's already been an 8-year journey, conceiving, designing, and redesigning the little ships which will maneuver among the Martian rocks.
It uses this machine vision, robot vision, plus a little bit of artificial intelligence to keep itself out of trouble.
It's a busy time in the Mars business. The British, using a Russian rocket, have just launched their own probe called Beagle 2.
The exciting bit, the bit we're going to enjoy most, is doing the science to discover is there or was there life on Mars.
On the other hand, we could go back to these places and find out they were warm, they were wet, they were just the kind of place you think life would be happy, and yet somehow life didn't emerge there.
Life or no life, Squires rovers will first have to survive the 7-month trip to Mars and the violent, chancy landing there. Dropping by parachute, then bouncing onto the surface in protective airbags. Unlike the Pathfinder rover 6 years ago, which had very limited range, the new rovers will travel for months on their own, probing the rocks, sending pictures and data to the scientists back on Earth.
What I think is so cool about this vehicle is that for the first time, it's going to enable us to truly explore, to truly move about on the surface of another planet.
The probes are not to arrive until January. Mars is 67 million miles away. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
The government unveiled a new supercomputer today that is intended to make weather forecasting more accurate. It is no consolation, however, for the people in Western Oregon, where there are record high temperatures for a third consecutive day. When we come back, the unlikely story of the horse that exceeded all expectations and the owners who beat all the odds.
Only new Oust air sanitizer kills odor-causing bacteria in the air.
I thought Lysol was an air sanitizer.
It's true. Lysol works on surfaces, but it's not meant for the air. Only Oust air sanitizer kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria in the air.
Oust is an air sanitizer.
It doesn't just cover up the odors, it eliminates them.
Spray the Oust spray, and it eliminates whatever odor there was. It smells really clean. I think it's great.
Get odor-causing bacteria out with new Oust air sanitizer. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
I love it.
Night. It's when most of the world sleeps. A time to reset our clock so we can begin a new day. It's all part of the rhythm of life. But for many, this healthy cycle is disrupted because sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. While natural sleep is best, Ambien helps you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and wake rested and refreshed, not groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full 7 to 8 hours to sleep and wake rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
The 2003 Chevy Trailblazer and Trailblazer EXT. You can take them just about anywhere. With confidence. Inside. And out. See your local Chevy dealer today.
If your pencils look like mine did, there's something you can do. Ask your doctor if the Nicotrol inhaler is right for you.
Or for more information, call 1-800-INHALER. Call today.
Emerging science suggests that lycopene is one of the ingredients in tomatoes that may help reduce the risk of heart disease. Now Centrum and Centrum Silver have lycopene, another reason to take your Centrum. New Centrum with lycopene, now more complete from A to Zinc.
There is the big question, how could you stay in this marriage? If I ask you straight up, was there a right-wing conspiracy to destroy your husband's presidency? Would you say yes? Do you trust your husband totally today?
The interview everyone will be talking about. Hillary Clinton's journey. Sunday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Sunday night, Hillary Rodham Clinton. It's the interview everyone will be talking about. And Sunday morning, Barbara Walters comes to This Week with an exclusive preview. Plus, legendary journalist Bob Woodward joins the roundtable, only on This Week Sunday.
Finally tonight, The Underdogs. This is about a group of friends who bought part of a racehorse as a lark. Tomorrow, that horse, named Funnyside, may make history. If he wins the Belmont Stakes, he will become only the 12th horse to win the Triple Crown and the first in 25 years. In the rarefied world of thoroughbred racing, the story of Funnyside and his owners is nothing less than spectacular. ABC's Dan Harris has our story.
J.P. Constance, who sells eyeglasses, is not your average blue-blooded horse owner.
This is primarily lady selection.
Neither is Harold Kring, a contractor, or Mark Phillips, a substitute math teacher.
See you later, guys. Take care.
Did any of you know anything about horses before you got into this?
No.
Nothing.
No.
At a party 8 years ago, these old high school buddies were convinced by another classmate, a horse racing fan, to start dabbling in thoroughbreds. Initial investment, $5,000 each.
I've heard, Harold, that you said at the time that you would rather put the money in a tin can and bury it in the backyard.
That's true.
Have you been forced to eat your words?
I think pretty much I've been forced to eat my words, yes.
First, Funnyside won the Kentucky Derby.
And the gutsy gelding Funnyside has won the 129th Kentucky Derby.
Then he won the Preakness.
It is Funnyside, and he's heading home back to Belmont. He's won the Preakness by almost 10 lengths.
Now people in tiny Sackett's Harbor, New York, where most of the owners grew up and still live, are enthralled. In a village with a population of fewer than 1,400 people, Funnyside is huge news. Some people here reckon it's the biggest thing to happen since the War of 1812, when the British and the Americans fought 2 battles here in Sackett's Harbor. If Funnyside wins tomorrow, these owners will earn tens of thousands of dollars.
We're not going to run out and buy Jaguars. I mean, it'll be invested in the children's education, or Peter may get a toupee. He's been begging for a little toupee action there.
Funnyside is a gelding, a castrated horse, which means he cannot enter the lucrative world of breeding. The owners hope to compensate financially with souvenir sales and even book and movie deals.
We might be the hicks from the sticks, but we're not stupid.
They're smart, and tomorrow, they hope, lucky. Dan Harris, ABC News, Sackett's Harbor, New York.
Luck they're hoping for. That's our report on World News Tonight. Thanks for joining us on Nightline, how the news is made at a newspaper, a local television station, and a national network. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
The Spurs' front line was overpowering in Game 1.
Score, David Robinson. Then Duncan.
Now, can Kid in the Nets turn the tide? The NBA Finals, Game 2, plus Jimmy Kimmel at halftime, tonight on ABC.
First, fast, accurate. News 2 at 6 starts now.
The weekend gets off to a soggy start here in Middle Tennessee.
Good evening, everyone. The rain started falling early this afternoon, and so far it's sticking around.
Looks that way. Let's go straight to Lisa Patton and the News 2 Storm Tracker for our first forecast. Lisa?
Well, things are improving here in the Nashville area. It's still very damp, but Storm Tracker shows some of the heavier shower activity now pushing north of the city, up through Sumner County, Robertson County, Dixon County. You folks are going to have it a little bit longer, but right here in town, just a little bit of scattered rain. Now, again, it's very damp. There's a lot of fog out there. That's going to be the case out there this evening, but you know, there's a big show, big concert going on over at the Coliseum with fanfare in town at 7 o'clock, and the forecast for that does call for cloudy skies. Even though the bulk of this heavier rain has moved on, I still can't rule out a passing shower, so keep those ponchos handy. Temp's going to be right around 70 degrees. A lot of local folks going to that show too, so ready to hit the road and get on over there. The gate's opening, I believe, just here in the next minute or so. But again, a look at Storm Tracker does show the shower activity that's been out there this afternoon, trying to lift on up to the north a little bit, most of it north of I-40. We may see a little bit later on tonight, but for right now, it's Gallatin up through Bethpage, Westmoreland into Springfield. You're going to be getting this heavier shower moving through Springfield here in the next 5 minutes or